Mr. Alexander, you were suing the defendant, Mr. Jones, for $725 for incomplete work and other related expenses. You claim that you paid the defendant to do some electrical work that he never finished, and it forced you to hire someone else to do the job. You say that the defendant did very little work, that the work was incomplete, and you had to pay to correct the work that the defendant did do. So now you're asking for a refund for the incomplete work and the cost to correct it. Mr. Jones, you claim that you've done several jobs for the plaintiff and often without full payment. After the plaintiff delayed in ordering materials and questioned your skills, you chose not to return. You believe that you acted in good faith and that he actually, the plaintiff that is, owes you money. All right. Mr. Alexander, how did you meet the defendant?
Well, I met the defendant through my daughter. Came and stayed with us for a few months, and I was telling her I needed a handyman. I purchased the property. It was a duplex.
Was this the first time you'd worked with the defendant?
No, he came and did some things for me when I had the duplex to get ready to rent out to another person.
Okay.
And he came and did some patch-up work for me. He did some good work. I won't complain about his work, but I paid him in full every dime I owed him.
And Mr. Jones, you say that's not true, obviously.
I did not always leave with full payment. No.
What is your occupation?
I'm a handyman or a home improvement contractor.
How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing handyman work for about 4 or 5 years now.
Are you licensed?
Yes.
You
I'm
are.
licensed.
Licensed to do what?
Licensed to do home improvement contracting in the state of New Jersey.
Okay, so you were hired to do some electrical work?
Yeah, so the home improvement contractor license, it covers small electrical work.
Okay.
Anything more extensive, you
have to be licensed for.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Alexander, you wanted the defendant to work on what exactly?
Well, I had asked him, I had an electrical problem in my bathroom with the light fixtures. And I said, do you know an electrician that could come? Because my light went out over the mirror of where the sink is. And he said, oh, I can do that. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, let me know how much you want to charge me, and I'll get back to you.
Why didn't you just suggest he do it if he had done other work for you before? Why ask him for a recommendation?
Because I'm thinking that you need to be an electrician.
And he quoted you what? How much?
$525.
Okay, and you paid him half of that up front?
I paid him half. I told him I would pay him every pay week. I get paid bi-weekly. I paid him half, and then when he came back to finish the job, I gave him the other half.
Mr. Jones, do you dispute that he paid you in full?
He paid me in full for the job, but he's just misspeaking on the actual job. So when I went to his house originally, it was to replace his recessed lights.
Okay.
He had 4 of those installed, and those weren't working properly.
Okay.
And so those were the jobs that I was actually hired to do.
Okay.
And then he started having problems with the light.
That's not true.
I'm sorry. Hold on. And then he started having problems with what?
With a different light in the bathroom. There's 4 lights that were recessed, and then there was a light fixture that actually sat above the mirror in his bathroom on top of his sink.
Okay.
That was a separate light with separate wiring.
Tell me what picture this is. So I'm going to pull up a picture of Plaintiff's Exhibit A. This is the fixture in the bathroom that you're referring to, right?
Yeah, that's the fixture that I was not contracted to work on. I actually replaced the 4 recessed lights.
I know, but you're saying, but then he had issues with a light fixture in the bathroom.
Correct.
And that's what you're talking about.
It's not that specific one, but it's that area. That one is a new one.
Okay. And you weren't able to fix that.
What happened was I went in to do the work to replace the 4 receptacle lights,
Yeah.
recessed lights.
Yes.
Sorry. And when I left, I showed him and his daughter that the light switch was working and it was turning those lights on.
Okay.
Maybe a week or 2 later, he called me back because he was saying he was having issues with that light that's in the picture, the old light in that area.
Okay.
And I was trying to let him know that that isn't connected to the recessed lights that I installed. I told him that obviously I would still look at it and try to get the situation resolved.
Okay.
As a separate thing.